Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, I just watched President Obama address the country. I haven't heard Obama speak in a while. I thought it was great to see him out in public and talking. I think that the country was interested in hearing what he had to say. I was interested in hearing what he had to say. I think he's, I don't agree with him on everything politically, but I think he's a smart guy. He's certainly smarter than Trump, at least when it comes to politics. And anyway, so I thought I would give a quick recap while I was on my brain of what I thought about Obama's address. Now, how many of you saw Obama's address? Give me a thumbs up or yes if you saw Obama's address. So he talked for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And he was talking about what was going on with the protests and everything. And I think he struck the right chords in terms of being in tune with the people, giving a lot of credit to young people for what they're doing in terms of really standing up and getting out there. And I thought that was great. One of the things that was interesting was he did give some specifics in terms of things in the political arena that should be done to address this issue. And I want to address these things, not because I disagree, but because I want to make sure we angle it or look at it from a nuanced kind of perspective. So first thing was, the obvious and the predictable, the part about voting and, get out and vote Trump out of office, stuff like that. I'm not participating in the presidential election because I'm tired of voting against things. I want to vote for something. So I really don't want you to tell me what I'm voting against. I need you to tell me what I'm voting for. And when I look at Joe Biden, who really is the Adolf Hitler for black people in terms of what he and Clinton did with that crime bill in the 90s, I think he deserves a political death sentence for that crime bill. You deserve the death penalty for that, politically speaking, because you gave the death penalty to 100,000 black families. And I know black people who have not recovered from what Joe Biden and Bill Clinton did in the 1990s. So if you want to know if I'm voting for Biden, no, I'm not going to vote for Biden. And so that means I don't really care about voting against Trump one way or the other. That's not why. You're not going to get me to vote against something. You'll only get me to vote for something. So if you can't tell me what I'm voting for, then you're not going to see me in that election. So presidential, I'm not interested in that. I figured he would do that as, his loyalty to the Democratic Party, and I respect it. That's fine. And I just want to tell you the truth about that. Second piece was he mentioned something that I thought was actually pretty compelling. He talked about the fact that a lot of this criminal justice stuff is local. This is local stuff. This is about local elections, local mayors, local city councils, things like that. If you're talking about the policing in Minneapolis or the state of Minnesota, you're talking about local politicians, local, right? And I love that because while I certainly have told you how I feel about the presidential election, I don't have any issue with local elections. I voted in the local election in my community because they were talking about some things that I actually cared about. So, at the end of the day, I liked what he was saying about mayors, pushing mayors to make the police brutality issue a top priority. Talking about how cops are trained, things like that. I even think on a local level in some cities, you can even get it, pushed to the point where you're pushing the real agenda or the real goal, which is, or what I believe, this is my utopia, is black people policing black communities, or at the very least, the cops in a given area coming from that area. Cops that police black neighborhoods should not be white boys from the suburbs. And that's a fundamental truth. I think most of us can understand that. You don't see a bunch of black cops running all through rich white neighborhoods beating people up. So why do we allow them to do that to us? Why are we letting people do that to us? I don't agree with any of that. Third piece he brought up, he talked about My Brother's Keeper, and that's his organization that he created that is designed for the upliftment of young men of color. Now, men of color, I don't know what that means, because I'm B1, I'm black first, but whatever, okay. That doesn't mean the organization's not good. I think it's, better than nothing, right? So here's the thing. I love the fact that he did specifically call out to all the allies, corporate partners, and politicians to provide support for My Brother's Keeper. And I think they're going to listen. I think, I've noticed a lot of corporations writing checks for, scholarships for African-American men and job opportunities and all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, cool. That's totally cool. Here's the thing. Here's what you need to understand about this whole, use of nonprofits and charity to elevate the black male. And this is where you're only going to get this from people like me. You're not going to get this from the politicians. Dear black man, you are not a charity case. You are not disabled. You are not the little crippled handicapped kid in the corner. You are not the little weakling, the $2, 20-pound weakling who can't take care of himself. You are not a woman. You are not a wimp. Charity only goes so far when it comes to the elevation of the men in a community. Charity only goes so far. There is a documentary you should watch on YouTube called Poverty Inc. Poverty Inc. is a documentary that talks about how white folks in their charity for black countries has totally decimated black countries all around the world. They has totally destroyed those countries. Look it up, Poverty Inc. Watch the documentary. Anybody who disagrees, any dumb motherfucker who's got something to say, if you ain't doing your research, then you shouldn't even be in here because you're too stupid to hear this live stream anyway. So I see you in there if you're stupid, but stupid people have no voice in this space. This is for intelligent black people only. So do your homework before you come talking to me. Here's the thing. Charity from white folks is not going to elevate the black community ever. It's just not going to work. It can be okay if you are in a distressed position. It can be a stepping stone. So for example, I'm not against programs like affirmative action and stuff like that. I benefited from affirmative action. I have no issue with affirmative action. But the thing about the black man is that in this world, in this very competitive world you live in, nobody's going to give you any breaks as a man. As a man will look at you man to man and will whoop you in your ass if you come up in here looking like some kind of a bitch. If you come in here looking like a wimp, if you come in here handicapped, I'm disabled, I can't do nothing for myself, I'm just a black man. They will kick you in your ass and turn you into a slave right in front of your woman. And she's not going to want to sleep with you. She's going to want to sleep with him. So what I'm really saying at the end of the day is it's okay to use certain things as a stepping stone, right? I think My Brother's Keeper is great. But the idea that we still as a nation view the black man as a charity case should offend the shit out of you. If you are not offended as a man by the fact that they see you as a charity case, then I'm sorry. Where I come from, you ain't a damn man. You ain't a man. This is Larry Watkins talking. I learned this from my father. You don't never walk around with other men helping you because they feel sorry for you, because that means you're not a man. You're either a little girl, you're a beta male, or you're a child. One of those three things. You're a girl, a beta male, or a child. So I'm talking to the real men in the room. The real men in the room. Some of those little fake men on MSNBC, those little, the little wimpy guys from Brown University who never learned how to create a job in their life, who could never survive without being on the white man's nipple. I'm not talking about them. God bless them. I wish them the best. I hope that their marriage with white people works out for them. But at the end of the day, at some point, you must claim your position as a man, and that's where things get messy. You don't want to see that. Nobody likes to see how their sausage is made. And that's made in a way that requires tremendous sacrifice. It requires you to have the strength and the ability to walk away from things. Let me tell you a little story that will help you understand this. This is going to sound crazy to you. Some of you won't get it. Some of you will. When I was 6, I was in the car with my family and my dad was driving and the car broke down on the side of the road. We were about maybe, 4 miles from our house. So we had to get out and start walking. So here we are, me, my mother, my brother, my mother, and my sister. Maybe I was about 8 because my sister was about maybe 3. So imagine this, a mother, a father, an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old walking hand in hand down the road on the side of the freeway. The exit's maybe half a mile up, but it still seems a long way because we're walking. A man pulls over, a white person says, oh my gosh, there's a family on the side of the road. We got to help them. They pull over and they're like, hey, can we give you a ride? And my father was like, no, thanks. We'll be all right. And we just kept on walking. And I didn't understand it. I was a kid. I was like, why don't we get in the car? They got plenty of room. We could get a ride. And now I look back on that, and some of y'all might think that this is toxic masculinity. If that's fine, then you're welcome to leave. Some of you may think that this is stubborn pride. But when I look back at that, what I really see is a man who said, no, I'm a man. I got this. I got this. This is my family. It's my responsibility to take care of my family. Now, some of you, it's okay to, if he had taken the ride, I don't think that would have made him less of a man, but I understand why he didn't take that ride. So what I'm saying to you as black men in general is that white people are going to start offering you lots of rides. They're going to start showing up, smiling in your face. I ain't never had so many white people smile at me in my life than I had this week. They normally turn the other way. Normally I make them very nervous, unless I'm with Alicia. When I'm with Alicia, I'm less threatening because I'm with a woman. But when I'm by myself, they usually don't talk to me. But now, even when I'm by myself, they're smiling at me, talking to me, like they're really trying to understand and connect with me. And I respect them so much for that. I totally appreciate that. But at the end of the day, a man has to have the ability to say, thank you so much for your support, but I got this. There has to be certain things that you can walk away from as a man to respect this thing called sovereignty that the black man has never known. The black man has never known in America, in America, most black men have never known anything other than being owned by a white man, being claimed by a white corporation, getting a job with a white company, attending a white university that puts you in debt for the rest of your life, going to a white school where the public school system is making money off of you, playing for some big white university on a basketball or football team, or getting some award like a Pulitzer. Pay attention, watch on MSNBC. Look at how many Negroes they have that went to elite white universities, or they got some sort of award like a Pulitzer or something that makes white people say, okay, that's a distinguished Negro. We've given him his dignity. We've given him his respect, his self-respect. And it's okay with that. I'm not dissing guys who are in that category. What I'm saying is that you cannot forget about the millions of other black men who will never, ever receive that sort of acceptance because they've stood too strong in the face of the white man. Marcus Garvey's not the kind of a black man that white men will ever give an award to. They would never give Marcus Garvey an award. They would fire him on his day off, and then they tried to lock him up in prison for the rest of his life. But Marcus Garvey has more manhood in 2 inches of his testicles. He has more manhood than most of those Negroes all put together. So what I'm saying is just kind of know the difference, right? So the black man, fine. My Brother's Keeper is a great organization. God bless it. I think it's great. I think that they need some work in the South Side of Chicago. I've spoken on that issue many times, that I didn't understand why the South Side, West Side of Chicago has so many unemployed black males. Unemployment rate's 45%. And I didn't understand why Obama didn't do more on that when he was president. Maybe he's trying to do more. I'm not going to take that away from him. But what I will say is at the end of the day, at some point, you must always have an exit plan. You must always have a plan to get off the white man's nipple, because at the end of the day, white people ain't never going to stop being white. They are never going to stop conquering the things they want to conquer. They are never going to stop competing for the things they want to compete for. They're never going to stop inventing things. They're never going to stop finding new ways to gain access, control, and power and wealth all throughout the world. They ain't going to stop and start being nice to you and playing fair with you and giving you all these opportunities you think you deserve just because they had a moment of clarity or a moment of guilt. So you cannot lean on white guilt to build black power. White guilt will never build black power. White guilt will never build black power. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Give me a yes so that we're on the same page. And that's it. I got to go. I got a meeting to do in a second, but I just had to make that point. So again, I'm going to just say overall, I like what Obama said. I thought Obama did a great job. I'm glad he's speaking to the country. I fear for the country in the sense that I think we're creating two nations, really. Some people are going to say, well, that's my president. That's the real president. And then the other person's, so other people are going to say Trump's, and this happens in countries all throughout the world. And if you notice, countries that start doing that, they start crumbling and falling apart. Venezuela does that. Venezuela has their own, they have their Trump and they have their Obama. They have two presidents. I don't think that ever works for any country. I really would be okay with just having one president. But at the end of the day, it just is what it is. And I think you want to survive in the best way that you can. So get off the nipple, move forward, be strong, and never believe that white guilt will ever build black power, because that's not how it works. Only black people can create black power. All right. So take care, guys. Be one. Love you guys. Have a great day, and hit the thumbs up button before you go. And if you want to learn about this economics thing, I'm always on the wealth thing for black people. The economic base is important for building our political base. Go take a visit to the Black Business School. You can get started for free. We're almost at 100,000 students. Our goal is to be the best HBCU in the history of the world, and we won't leave you in debt, and a lot of things are free. So go give it a try. We have people there that will talk to you right now. Never feel like you have to do this by yourself. We're all together. Be one means black first, but it also means that if we are one, we can be one and help each other. So feel free to go to the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com. Just go give it a try. I guarantee you're going to love it. And if you don't love it, you should tell us why, because we want to make it a great place for you. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.